What happens if a country is attacked so completely that no leaders are left alive to respond? No president, no generals, no command center, no one left to make the final call. Would retaliation die with them? Or could a system still launch it anyway? That question led to one of the most chilling ideas in military history, the dead hand switch. Also known as perimeter, it is often described as one of the coldest concepts ever tied to nuclear deterrence, and what makes it terrifying is not just what it could do, it is what it says about the kind of world that created it. In ordinary technology, a dead hand switch is a safety mechanism. If the operator stops responding, the system shuts down. A train stops moving, a machine powers off. A dangerous process comes to an end. But in nuclear strategy, that same logic takes on a much darker meaning. Instead of stopping action, the system helps preserve it. Instead of shutting the chain down, it helps ensure the chain survives, even if the people at the top do not. And that is what makes the dead hand idea so disturbing. Because now silence does not mean safety. Silence may mean the worst has already happened. To understand why anyone would build something like this, you have to understand one word: deterrence. Nuclear weapons are not only meant to destroy, they are meant to prevent attack by making the consequences unthinkable. If your enemy believes you can always strike back, they are less likely to strike first. But that created a terrifying problem during the Cold War. What if an enemy launched a massive first strike? What if leadership was wiped out in minutes? What if communication centers were destroyed? What if the people authorizing retaliation were already dead? If that were possible, deterrence would weaken, because an enemy might believe it could destroy the response before it ever happened. That is the nightmare systems like Dead Hand were designed to solve. Its message was brutally simple. Even if you destroy us first, you may still be destroyed in return. That is the logic, not anger, not revenge. Logic. Public details about the Dead Hand system remain limited, and not every source agrees on exactly how it functioned, but the broad idea is consistent. It was designed as a backup mechanism for nuclear retaliation if normal command structures were destroyed. In other words, if a catastrophic attack happened, and if communication with leadership collapsed, the system could help ensure retaliatory orders still moved through what remained. That alone is enough to unsettle anyone, because it suggests something almost impossible to ignore. The machinery of retaliation was designed to outlive the people controlling it. Think about that. The world had become so dangerous, so unstable that planners imagined systems meant to function after the chain of command was gone. That is not normal defense planning. That is planning for the end of civilization. What makes the dead hand idea uniquely horrifying is not just retaliation. It is the reduced role of the human being. Human beings hesitate. They question what they are seeing, they doubt warnings, they argue, they panic, they pause, and sometimes that pause is the only thing standing between a false alarm and catastrophe. Machines do not pause in the same way. They do not imagine cities burning. They do not picture children, hospitals, or the aftermath of radiation and fire. They register signals, they check conditions, they follow protocol. And once you move the most important decision in human history closer to systems and thresholds, the moral weight of that decision changes. No final debate, no trembling hand, no last-second refusal, just a chain of conditions being met, and a system doing what it was built to do. That is why the dead hand switch remains one of the most unsettling ideas ever created. A world where silence might not mean peace, it might mean the system has already taken over. So when people talk about the dead hand switch, they're talking about more than a military system. They're talking about the coldest edge of deterrence. Subscribe for more dark history and hidden military systems.